out and a Raven popping out for Deth. So this is going to be interesting as both players, even though Seal won that engagement, he was not able to do too much damage to Deth. That planetary fortress, despite taking a bunker down and a few SCVs, and Deth moving out, he is going for that gold expansion. Got to be careful here, Seal. Ugh, those overlords are going to be hugely vulnerable if he sends one of his Vikings over. But no, he's just looking to engage once again in this crowded space. This is not a good spot to engage for this Ultralisk. They want to be in a nice open field, allowing the siege tanks to siege up. This is not good, but a little bit on the edge of siege tank range there. Got to be careful. The other siege tanks are only coming in range now, so wasn't that bad by Seal. Loses the hatchery though, but he's going to lose all these forces. Looks like Seal's Ultras get through all the Marine Marauders down to the tanks. Death's in a lot of trouble right now. These 4 Ultras, one of these Ultras needs to be sent back to his Queen buddies to get some heals. But looking like Seal is not going to be aggressive. Just macroing up, continuing to bring in units, still long distance mining from this gold and taking these destructible rocks, possibly even thinking about taking another base. So he'd be looking to take his 5th there, but he's hugely up on minerals, a little bit low on gas, which those Ultras cost so much gas. They're a huge investment. Meanwhile, Deth is much better at spending his minerals, only at around 300 despite mining there and getting his 4th online, although there is this creep everywhere, so Seal is aware of it. Huge nest of missile turrets, but Seal really needs to think about pushing down and taking this out. It would force Deth to come in behind him, so he would be forced to engage, but this does not want to be splitting the map in half. There's this nice even half right now. This is not a good situation for Seal, especially with this gold that's been denied once. I feel that he's slipping behind a little bit, despite this massive stockpile of minerals, which he can always hit the Zergling panic button. He can always produce a bunch of Zerglings. So, interested to find out when Deth is going to make a move here, because I feel that Seal, if left to his own devices, will happily macro all the way up, get back close to 200, which he's doing. Nidus going on, building a Nidus right now, so this is full of Zerglings. Where is the Nidus going to pop out? Ah, it is popping out down at Deth's expansion, so Seal is on the ball here. This is really nice. Good use of Nidus. While we see a drop going on at Seal, basically base trading going on right here. The gold being denied again. Ultras coming in to try and work on this. Medevacs picking up with a bit of a shooting scoop, picking up the Marauders and fleeing there, while we're seeing these Zerglings coming in. Of course, the Terran advantage of lifting off, but these mules, hugely costly mules there. That's a bit of a bad loss there for Deth, especially as he is really hurting for minerals right now. He's been spending so efficiently, and basically both players able to deny an expansion there, although Seal has retaken the area, so he can take this expansion again, and his own expansion is back up. So Seal needs to be careful. The scan going off there from Deth. Deth realizes what's going on, so be curious to find out whether he's going to continue to try and deny this half of the map and work on these expansions, or if he's going to push out, because once again Seal's forces are split. His rally point is here to the front of his base, but his main force is up at the gold expansion. So looking like Deth pushing out, going completely against the grain, does not want to lose this side of the map where he was expanding to, so just checking things out, making sure there's no sneaky expansion there, and pushing out again with this heavy tank Marauder Hellion mix, and lots and lots of medevacs, so he can do shooting scoots, and huge swarm of Zerglings. Got to be careful, they're going to be roasted by these Hellions. These Hellions doing lots of damage. All the Zerglings going out. This tank being evaporated, but this nice nest of tanks once again in the choke. These Ultras going to the front, trying to work on these Ultras. Why are you not joining the fight? Bunch of Ultras being evaporated by all these tanks. Fungal growing off. In the middle of it, these Infestors taking so much damage. There's so many dead Zerg corpses right now. There's just a pile of bones and mucus all over the ground, and these Hellions driving over it. These Ultras coming in a nice little Hail Mary attack, trying to work on it. Even the last Ultra goes down. Bad situation for Seal. He did not want to fight in this little narrow passage. Both fights in terrible shape there. Seal is in bad situation, desperately hitting the Zergling panic button, trying to get more Zerglings in, but these nest of siege tanks going to work. Not sure what Seal can do. No gas to produce those crucial Ultras. Huge chunk of minerals going down. That is Zerglings being rallied. Bunch of Ultras being produced, but they are so slow. They're in these eggs. Look at them. They're taking forever. So look at Deth is now going in, and Seal starting to realize that he's in desperate trouble despite having so many bases. Deth expanding, Seal wondering what the hell just happened, and these Marauders do so much damage to those Ultralisks, and Deth denying another expansion. Not sure what Seal can do right now. He is in such bad shape, and I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do to come back in this game. It's basically Deth has got this, unless there's some kind of miracle maneuver. Deth coming in to deny another expansion, working on the main. The Ultras coming out once again, looking like Seal is going to hang around though, just doing a little bit of mana chat, and Deth has this sewn up though, so I'm not sure. Another Ultralisk being barbecued. So really like how Deth stuck to this heavy Marauder mix-up, because when there's so many Ultras will do nasty things to Terran ground, even heavy metal Terran ground in the Ultra late game, because they'll just be able to do that splash damage. Especially in this clustered with Thors, they'll be able to really go to work. But because there's so many Marauders and able to abuse him with a nest of Hellions, he was able to just work his way through those Ultras really well. And even though he got through a bunch of Marauders and the Hellions went down, the Hellions did their job, they took out the Zerglings. But it's just this positioning. It's this ramp here. Usually you see the tanks go a little bit lower, but Deth was using a little bit higher, and because he engaged there, his units, as they ran in this entire area, were vulnerable to this siege tank damage, and were taking siege tank splash so much, and while they were clustered behind each other trying to get to the front line. So really bad positioning there, which is what Steps is famous for. If you fight in these little narrow pathways near the bases, it can be really bad. Finally we see the GG, just a little bit of mana chat as with that game finished off. But with Steps, it's just, if Terran can get the fight to execute in these narrow clusters, it can position tanks, it can really break a Zerg's heart, because they want to be in the middle of the map in these open areas, get a nice convex, get a nice round, and really crush the army. But unfortunately for Seal, Deth was just too strong, his execution was too good. So, really good game there.